Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's on a fly replace and I'm in the gearing at tier 10 US Destroyer. I'm on the map Sea of Fortune. It's a free predomination game, and thankfully I've dodged the carriers and the subs this time. But there is an Annapolis with Raider, a Riga with Raider, there's a Sherman with Hydro, and it is a tier 11 battle. Now I'm going in here somewhat risky because I don't really know where the Raiders are just yet. I'm hoping that this island will protect me if necessary. There is also the chance that torpedoes are gonna come from more like a center position, and I am detected. I've got some fish going towards where I suspected the enemy DT to be, and there is actually a ship, and I'm not gonna shoot because I'm afraid that I'm gonna be detected from somewhere else. And I'm trying to sit at the very edge of the camp here, because hopefully, yeah, this island is protecting me from the fish. Now, obviously, there was a chance that the fish would have been launched from a different angle slightly earlier, and it would have been tricky, but I was hoping that I could always accelerate outside of the torpedoes. Now, this Riga is coming into radar range, and since I've been detected and it knows I'm here, it could have raided, but it didn't. And even if it did, there was a chance that it wouldn't have been fast enough with its shells to actually hit me and interrupt me in time. So there is that. Now, meanwhile, we have taken this cap. It's the only cap so far that has been taken. Our Yu Yang is not going for A. Our Holland may or may not be going for B, although there is a Sherman there. And this Riga is covering the center as well, so it has to be careful. Meanwhile, there's a Khabarovsk here sitting at the flank, and I'm suspecting that the Shimmer might have been coming for the flank too. So my plan here is to smoke up the Allied cruiser. Now, I'm not sure if it will be able to really farm the Khabarovsk. Khabarovsk are unfortunately very hard to hit, but there is also devastation, right? And it can most certainly just sit here and shoot that. I also have no idea how good its smoke fire penalty is, to be honest. So that could be an issue if the Khabar stays too close, or if the Shimmer appears. And speaking of issues, there are some fishes. So I'm going for this gap here, and this should work fine, and they disappear anyway. Okay, so this devastation is just peeking around this island. Somehow I have a feeling that it's gonna reverse back behind. No? Is it accelerating? I was thinking, like many battleships, that it's just peaked and then it would possibly reverse back. Maybe it's going to turn away though. I highly doubt it's gonna go aggressive. That's usually not what battleships do. So the enemy has taken the A cap. It's not like we've put up any fight there, which is a shame. And B, well, we've lost a destroyer in B. So it looks like one of our ships tried. But, you know, there is a Sherman there with Hydro and the Riga and so on. So, yes, it was a bit of a risky proposition and it did not pay off. Now the question is, where do I go from here? The problem is that we could use a destroyer in A, and our destroyer is not willing. There is an Annapolis there, but Annapolis only has 10km radar, and this is fair distance, so it could have tried something. Actually, the enemy destroyer was allowed to go in between. And meanwhile, I narrowly missed torps on the Khabar, which is sad. I was hoping I'd get a hit there, but it didn't quite happen. So, yeah. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, at A, our Yu Yang has dropped the ball, and I mean, I could try to go towards the center, but I think I'm needed here. There's the Shimmer that's now spotted. Our Haaland seems to be going after it. Our Haaland is making a risky move there, because Haaland doesn't have a smoke screen, right? So Haaland can't just disappear after it's shot, and it's really surrounded by enemies. Meanwhile, I'm also, like, I don't have a smoke ready either, right? It's a certain risk. The Khabar is going to shoot me, the devastation might shoot me, but I do have some islands here. And if I hadn't beached like this, this would have gone a lot better. So we've lost our Haaland here, which quite honestly is unsurprising. The Haaland never had a chance of survival there. And I took way too much damage because I beached, right? If I had made this turn, like, the problem is that most guns are in the front, so I had limited ways to maneuver there, but I could have probably done this better without risking taking so much damage. But yeah, I mean, the Haaland was being shot at probably by a Sherman. Maybe Riga, Shikishima, the Khabar could have also shot the Haaland. And as I said, like, Haaland doesn't have a smoke, so as soon as it sinks the Shimmer, it can't just disappear. And it didn't have islands either, right? I had some cover, but there was no way for it to go undetected for like 20 seconds. That's just way too long of a time. So, both teams have lost 2 destroyers by now, though. The enemy destroyer on the other side was way too aggressive and got taken out. So there is that. And each team has 1 cap. So pretty even game. I do have some troops going towards the devastation, and it looks like at least 1, maybe 2 of them will hit. Now, my cruiser behind me has asked me to tail with the devastation, and he said he's going to take care of the cover. Well, it would be nice if that works out. We'll have to see. Unfortunately, my cruiser is on very low health. I do have a smoke screen ready, so I could turn around and try to smoke him. But first, I'm gonna try to get some fishes off here. So it looks like the devastation is actually going to speed up and move in. So well, this will create a gap, right? Because 1 troops are probably going to be behind it, and the others... Well, there will be a gap in between those launches, I'm afraid. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Well, if he sees those, he might actually be speeding up to dodge them and then run right into the next set. Maybe that's going to happen. Meanwhile, I'm on the way to try to save my cruiser, but I don't think I'll be in time. Unless it manages to go into concealment here, and I don't know how good its concealment is. So it is healing though, and it's also still under fire. Now the devastation has shots in the air, so... Sadly, I'm too late to do anything about it. I mean, I could have tried laying a smoke trail here, but it would have probably been spotted from the ships in the center. Like, even if I blocked the vision towards the devastation, right? We had, like, the enemy had ships in the center that would have most likely kept it spotted. Anyway, we are taking the A cap, which is good. We could use the points. We are losing the B cap, which is bad, but oh no, they got interrupted. So we should now be able to build a fair lead in points, and that might come in handy. We are currently actually 2 ships behind. Not an ideal scenario. I'm still trying to torpedo this devastation, but of course the devastation knows I'm here. I've already gotten, what, like 4 torpedoes or so far into the devastation, and oh damn it, there's a Riga. There's a Riga coming in from the side, and it probably is radar ready. So I need to get out of here, and once its radars me, the devastation might also shoot me, which could be quite devastating. There is the Sherman, there is a Shikishima, there are way too many ships, and yeah, the Kaba is here too. Now the good news is my troops are looking nice for the Riga, but the bit of life advice here: if you torpedo a cruiser that has radar, they usually tend to radar. Like, the moment it saw the torps coming, the first thing it did was press the radar button, because it knew that there was a destroyer on. Well, actually, I'm a gearing, right? So I could have even torpedoed far outside of its radar range. But it guessed correctly that I was close enough, and I took quite a bit of damage. Now, thankfully, the Riga didn't survive long, so I'm still alive. The devastation is... Actually, I could have tried torping it here, but I'm not sure. Is it trying to turn back home? No, it's staying on our side, is it? Because if it goes on the other side of the island, obviously I can't torpedo it. And it looks like it even beached, so I probably wouldn't have guessed that. Because it didn't look like it was... like, it's not... You see, it's not like with the nose stuck against the island. It just got too close, and the underwater parts of the island grabbed it and held it, because they wanted to hug a devastation, I guess. So, yeah. Meanwhile, we have evened the ship count, but we have lost 1 of the caps. We might be taking the center too. Still, we do have a points lead from holding like more caps for a certain amount of time. Now we'll just have to make sure it stays that way, I guess. The devastation is currently still reversing. I presume it's gonna reverse so that it can maneuver, because it's, you know, it had some beaching issues with the island. So I suspect it's gonna back up a little bit and then go forward again. And I'm going to use my second launcher for the Shikishima, which is a lot closer, and those torps could even move on and hit the smoke behind where there is the Sherman inside the cover is moving around here. So I feel like those torpedoes have a lot of chance to hit something. Now the devastation is still not moving forward as I hoped it would. It just keeps reversing there for no reason. So yeah, I guess it's a battleship. So obviously its default move is just to keep reversing. Maybe they've forgotten that it has W key. To be fair though, this devastation has actually pushed quite a bit. So it hasn't been one of those battleships that just sits in the back, right? This ship is actually pushing here. Meanwhile, we have two battleships left on the A side. We have a Silesia and a Conqueror there in the north. So it's just me and battleships that are remaining. Actually, how healthy are my battleships? They've all taken some damage, so at least there is that, right? So none of my friendly battleships has just sat in back with full health. They all have been tanking to a certain degree. Now I've got more torpedoes towards the devastation, although I have no idea how it's going to react right now. Now this devastation seems to have realized that there are 4 friendly battleships. Well, I mean, battleships are a bit broadside towards it. But we have 2 more battleships coming this way, so maybe the devastation has decided it's just gonna back up a little bit. Oh no, wait, is it going forward again? I guess it might just be going forward again. There is a Khabarovsk very close. I got a combat scout. So I'm doing a good job, I guess, keeping stuff spotted. That's always nice to see. And not just that, my team is actually shooting it. There are times when you spot a lot of ships and nobody bothers to fire at them. That's not the case here, so that's actually nice. Now the Khabarovsk, we can see the shells is somewhere here behind an island. And while the Khabarovsk is lower, I am lower, so... it's not just outgunning me, it also has more health. So this is why I'm moving here very carefully and very slowly, right? The devastation is very close to me, and it's coming potentially closer to spot me. The Khabarovsk could spot me if it comes around this island, which would be awkward. So I'm launching some torps towards the devastation though. Our Silesia is sadly too broadside towards it. We still also have the Conqueror. Oh, they got the Khabarovsk. Nice. Okay, this opens up this whole area here. There is, of course, the Sherman in B. But my plan is to flip C right now. I mean, I'm thinking that devastation is accelerating a little bit too much. So I almost have torps ready, so I'm gonna wait until I can launch those torps, and then I'm gonna move forward behind those islands. Oh, I think I'm getting a hit there. Okay, I got 1 hit. Let's have some more torps going. I don't know how the devastation will react to that and how it will maneuver. Devastation has done quite a bit of different maneuvering in this game. It could, I mean, oh damn it, the Sherman has spotted me. But yeah, I'm undetected again. So, yeah, the devastation is way too broadside, so it stands to reason that it will maneuver in some way, but we'll move it towards the Conqueror away. It looks like it's moving away, which is actually a smart choice, because we have the more battleships incoming. I don't know how much the devastation knows though, right? I've no idea if our battleships down there are spotted, and if the devastation is aware of this. But of course it wouldn't want to be broadside to 3 of our battleships. Now I'm going to launch more torpedoes towards it, see if that does something. And I'm trying to flip this camp. If the Sherman is coming for me, I'm not gonna survive it without help, but I can potentially outrun it. My concealment is better than a Sherman's. But it looks like it's shooting right up. Obviously I'm not gonna shoot back. I could smoke here, but I'm afraid that I'm the one detecting it. I don't really know how the line of sight works here with the islands. If it's lobbing shells over something, or if like our battleships would spot it. Because if it keeps being spotted with me smoking up, I could obviously just smoke and shoot and lend my gunpowder to this. There's also the problem that the Sherman has Hydro, and it could just go dark and then push me with Hydro, which would be rather scary. There's also a chance that it's out of Hydro charges, because keep in mind this game is... well, the game has been going for a long time, so lots of unknowns there. What I do know is that I'm not gonna win a straight up gunfight. Oh, I have some fish going towards it. Maybe that will do something, and I managed to take the camp. Oh, will I hit it there? I did. Now, I have maneuvered myself a little bit weirdly because I'm now getting detected and the Sherman is coming towards me, so I need to use my guns here. I could have tried to disappear into smoke. Not sure if that would have been the move to go for, but I've decided we're gonna kill it, right? There are still some shells from allies coming in. I do have a fire on it, and I think it might be a sticky fire. So yeah, it's still on fire now, it just has to burn out. Oh, well, there are more shells from my allies, and... nice! Okay, they got it. They got it. Whew. So I could have played this a little bit more careful, and maybe that would have been the way to go, but we got the Sherman in the end, so nothing was really lost, I think. And now we're gonna see how this turns out, because yeah, run and heal is a good advice probably. So we have more points and we have more caps, and it's less than 3 minutes to go. Both teams have 2 ships. Our Yamato is low, our Satsuma is not, and there are no more torpedoes in play, which means like they can't just be torpedo ambushed. As long as they don't go full broadside, they can't really be bursted down that quickly. So yeah, and they have to survive just 1.5 minutes. The Yamato is going to leave that. Well, I mean, it might have been smarter to just run away towards the corner. And we've lost the Yamato, which is bad, but there's only 50 seconds remaining. And the Satsuma got the Montana, actually, right? So now it's just the Satsuma. Yeah, it's going to run out. So the Satsuma could have just stopped here, mind you, especially after it got the Montana. But it all worked out. We've won. It was a close one. It was definitely a close one. And battles like this are really rare, and you know, I barely ever see anything like this anymore. So this was actually a game where no team has really thrown it away that much, and where we had an exciting battle to the very end. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.